Woo! What's going on, guys? Orange Forum coming at you today with today's video. Today we're going to do the aftermath of the Week 15 Bills at Detroit Lions, Buffalo Bills. Bills won this game in a shootout, 42-48, edge of your seat type of game. We'll talk about it in a bit, but the Bills going up to 11-3, first place in the AFC East. Lions still number one in their division, NFC North at 12-2. Minnesota Vikings playing right now against the Bears. Pretty sure the Vikings will win that one, but we'll see what happens. And even if the Vikings do win, they go. I think they go up to 12-2 because they have 11 wins right now. I think they're at 12-2, but we have the tiebreaker over them so it'll be half a game. We'll see what happens in that football game that's being played right now. But this wasn't a shootout, guys. At Ford Field, Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen and Jared Goff looked like two Supermen out there. They played great. Lions with a slow start, but then got rolling a little bit after a couple series, and no defense was absolutely played on this day. And I kind of predicted that. I think a lot of people agreed on that too. I did predict the Lions win. I believe I said 37-34. I think I said for Detroit. I said I wouldn't be surprised if they scored 40 plus points each team, and they did. Lions 42, Bills 48. A lot of people said it was a Super Bowl preview. It could have been. We'll talk about some injuries. We got plagued with injuries again. I'm going to make probably a video on this. I kind of needed a day to kind of decompress from all the news that we got about our Detroit Lions. 3 starters, a decent backup, and a cornerback in Khalil Dorsey. I was going to make like one video of just about the 3 or 4 guys. What's the point of making 4 videos about it where I could they kind of nail it on one? So I probably got a video coming, guys. I'm going to do some live podcast too as well about what's going on. But let's get to the injuries. Let's get some inactives, whatever's going on. The Bills, quarterback Josh Allen had a shoulder problem. After the game, he got checked out. He said he took a funky fall on it. He's good to go, though. Just doing some maintenance on him, just doing a double check, making sure he's okay. Wide receiver Curtis Samuel, shoulder. He came back in the game, though, for the Bills. Linebacker Dorian Williams, elbow. Linebacker Matt Milano, groin. And then offensive tackle Spencer Brown with a head injury, concussion kind of. He was on the ground for a little bit, but I believe he came back as well, too. That's a mountain of a man, by the way, too. Detroit Lions, you guys already know. Defensive tackle Aleem McNeil with a knee injury. Quarterback Carlton Davis III with a jaw injury. Running back David Montgomery, knee injury, MCL. And then backup cornerback Khalil Dorsey, who snapped his leg in half. They say it was kind of like the same kind of injury that Aiden Hutchinson had. He was literally like running, then a guy ran into him. I don't know if it was our own player or someone else, but he ran into him, snapped his leg. And Aleem McNeil done for the year. Carlton Davis III, I think he's going to be back in about 5 to 6 weeks, they say. So he could go on short-term IR and be back for possibly the NFC Championship game if we even get that far. And then running back David Montgomery had that MCL and he's having surgery. Dan Campbell kind of making that announcement today. So lots of injuries, losing guys. We can't afford to keep losing these guys. I'm sick of talking about it. It's a major issue. It is a major issue, but let's get into the stats because I'm going to try to save it most of this for talking about these injuries for the video that I'm going to make probably tomorrow. Might as well make it tomorrow. So let's go to the stats. Bills road team offense. Quarterback Josh Allen, he was 23 for 34, 67.6% completion percentage, 362 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He wasn't sacked at all. And that Bills team have not let up a sack, I think, in 3-4 games. I talked about it before. They are the best team in football on not giving up sacks. That has a lot to do with their O-line has a lot to do with Josh Allen's escapability as well. So he was great, 362 yards and 2 touchdowns. Rushing the ball, they rushed the ball extremely well. Running back James Cook, 14 carries for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. 7.5 yards a carry. He had a 41 long, it was a long touchdown. Quarterback Josh Allen had 11 carries for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. 6.2 yards a carry. They rushed as a whole team, 197 yards. Pretty much the worst outing for the Lions. They had defensively playing run defense. There was no defense at all in this game, and that includes playing the run, at least in the Lions side anyways. They're receiving running back Ty Johnson. You remember him. He used to be a Detroit Lion. He had 5 catches for 114 yards, 22.8 yards a catch, 5 targets. Wide receiver rookie Keon Coleman, 1 catch for 64 yards, 64 a pop, 2 targets. Tight end Dalton Kincaid had 4 catches, 53 yards on 13.3 yards a catch, 7 targets. He just came back from injury as well. Tight end Dawson Knox, 2 catches, 42 yards, 21 yards a pop, 3 targets. Wide receiver Khalil Shakir, 6 catches, 39 yards, a touchdown, 6.5 yards a catch on 7 targets. And then running back rookie Ray Davis, 2 catches, 14 yards, a touchdown, 7 yards a catch on 2 targets as well. So receiving, they did well. They did well there too. A couple touchdowns. With obviously Ray Davis and Khalil Shakir. Ty Johnson having a massive day, coming out in the flats. The running back matching up with our linebackers, who our linebackers could not cover. Ezekiel Turner was having problems. Every linebacker you can think of on our team had problems covering running backs and tight ends that day. It was a rough one. And then on defense, linebacker Terrell Bernard had 10 tackles and a tackle for loss. Cornerback Taron Johnson had 8 tackles and 1 pass deflection. And apparently cornerback Taron Johnson had some things to say about the Detroit Lions, about reaching in, grabbing some private parts apparently on during a football scrum at the end of that game where we went for an onside kick, which was a beautiful kick by Jake Bates. He made 2 kicks, and we'll talk about the first one, but the second kick he made with like 13 seconds left, whatever it was, we almost got that ball back. And if you've ever been in the bottom of a football scrum, it's nasty. It's absolutely nasty. It's eyes, it's armpits, it's groin areas, it's you're behind. Guys will put their fingers everywhere to try to get you to let go of that football. It's a bad scene down there, guys. It's a real bad scene down there. It's a football scrum. And I'm surprised a guy like that came back and talked about it. He's been kind of known to bitch about things in the past, though. Taron Johnson, he bitched about, I think, what was his name, a little bit a while ago. The Cleveland Browns wide receiver, played at LSU. Odell Beckham Jr.'s buddy. Starts with an L. Can't remember his name. Good wide receiver, though. Good possession wide receiver, but he's cried about kind of blocks in the past, and he was crying about, about where players were grabbing him and stuff like that. You know what? It's the bottom of a football scrum. I'm surprised he said anything. Maybe he got grabbed where he shouldn't have got grabbed. I get it, but I'm kind of surprised he talked about it as well too. So kind of running his mouth there, but hey, football's football. So I'm just kind of surprised he said something. But anyway, let's move on. Cornerback Christian Benford, 6 tackles for loss. Pass deflection, 1 QB hit, and he had a sack as well. Quarterback Khair Elam had 6 tackles and a pass breakup. Cornerback Cam Lewis, 6 tackles. Safety rookie Cole Bishop had 5 tackles. Defensive tackle Ed Oliver, who had a great game, had a really good game actually. 4 tackles, 3 quarterback hits. He had a sack. He had a forced fumble. He was living in the backfield a lot on that day, and beating on Graham Glasgow, beating on Frank Ragnow. He just had a great day. Defensive end Greg Russo had 4 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits as well, and a 1 sack. So he had a good game too. Linebacker Matt Milano, 3 tackles, a QB hit, and a fumble recovery. Defensive end AJ Epinesa, 2 tackles and a QB hit. Defensive end Dwayne Smoot had 1 tackle for loss and a pass breakup. And then defensive tackle Daquan Jones with a quarterback hit. 10 quarterback hits altogether for the Buffalo Bills. They got in Jared Goff's face a lot. hit him multiple times, double-digit times actually. A lot of pressures, a lot of hurries. The Goff still had a good day. And Tyler Bassett, he was 2 for 3 on field goals, missed an easy field goal. I believe it was like 24, 25 yards, and he was 6 for 6 on extra points too, and with a long of 50. Lions offense. Let's go quarterback Jared Goff, 38 for 59, 64.4%, 494 yards, an absolute massive day. 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. He did have a fumble. Zeitler, I think, recovered it on a fumble recovery. And then rushing, we didn't rush the ball well at all. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs, 8 carries for 31 yards and a touchdown, 3.9 yards a carry. Goff, second leading rusher, 2 yards, 13 yards, 6.5 yards a carry. And then running back David Montgomery, 5 carries, 4 yards, 0.8 yards a carry, which was kind of shocking there. He was banged up. Receiving, wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown had a massive day. He had 14 catches for 193 yards. He did have a fumble and a fumble lost. A touchdown, 13.8 yards a catch on 18 targets. That's insane. Tight end Sam Laporta had 7 catches for 111 yards, 15.9 yards a catch. He was catching the ball and he was running hard yesterday, Sam Laporta. He was hard to bring down. He was putting his head down. He had a very nice day. 10 targets for him. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs had 5 catches, 83 yards, and a touchdown, 16.6 yards a catch, 7 targets. Wide receiver Jameson Williams had 3 catches, 37 yards, a touchdown, 12.3 yards a catch, 5 targets. He had a massive drop, too, in his football game that either would have went for a touchdown or got him right inside the 5-yard line. And you can tell it really, really got to him, too, but he did come back with the touchdown catch. Running back David Montgomery, 4 catches, 21 yards, 7.8 yards a catch, 4 targets. Wide receiver Tim Patrick, 4 catches, 30 yards, a touchdown. That's 2 games in a row for him. 7.5 yards a catch on 8 targets. And then Dan Skipper, the offensive tackle. Yes, Dan Skipper, the OT, had 1 catch, 9 yards, and a touchdown. 1 target on 9 yards a catch on a little trick play that they did. That worked beautifully. They did a couple trick plays, actually, that worked. Went for it a lot. I think they went for it. How many times they go for it? 3 times. We'll talk about that in a bit too. Then defensively, safety, Brian Branch had 15 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass breakup. Linebacker Jack Campbell had 11 tackles and a pass breakup. Safety Kirby Joseph, 8 tackles. Linebacker Ben Neiman, 5 tackles and a pass deflection. Linebacker Ezekiel Turner had 4 tackles and a QB hit. Cornerback Rookie Arnold had 4 tackles and 1 pass breakup. Linebacker David Long Jr., 3 tackles and a tackle for loss. Cornerback Kindell Vildor, 3 tackles and a pass deflection. Defensive end Josh Pascal with 1 tackle, 2 QB hits. They only had 3 QB hits on Josh Allen. Didn't sack him. No sacks, no picks, no forced fumbles, no fumble recoveries, nothing. So they didn't really, they didn't do much. They got gashed. There was so many yards in this game. We'll talk about that. Let's go to the Bills first. We'll do team stats. Bills had 28 first downs. They were 5 for 10 on third downs. They were 1 for 1 on fourth down. 197 yards rushing, 362 yards passing, 559 total yards. 3 sacks for 21 yards. 0 interceptions thrown by Josh Allen. They punted 1 time for 51-yard average. 6 penalties for 49 yards. 0 fumbles, 0 lost. Possession, 32 minutes, 42 seconds. That's for the Bills. Now you go to the Lions. First down, 30. Third downs, they were 6 for 13. Fourth down, 3 for 3. Perfect there. Went for it a couple times. They got it. It's one of those games where you had to do it. Rushing, they'd only rushed for 48 yards as a team. 473 yards passing. Total yards, 521. Sacks, the Lions had 0 sacks, 0 yards. Interceptions thrown, no interceptions thrown by either quarterback. Punts, 3 punts for 55.7 yards a punt. Jack Fox was booming the ball yesterday. Penalties, 5 for 41 yards. And then fumbles lost. We had 2 fumbles, only 1 loss. Possession, 27 minutes, 18 seconds. So that's the game, guys, right there. Let's talk about the football game. There's offensively with the Bills, they're just a juggernaut football team. I think they scored on their first 3 possessions for sure, touchdowns. 3 or 4, I can't remember. But they were scoring touchdowns at will. They run the ball well. Josh Allen was throwing the ball extremely well. His ball placement is insane. I've never seen anything like it. He should be the front runner for the MVP. It shouldn't even be questioned. I think Lamar's in there still a little bit. Jared Goff's in there a little bit, but the front runner is Josh Allen from the Bills. It really is. What can I say about the Buffalo Bills yesterday on offense? They did everything to perfection. They ran the ball. They threw the ball. They caught the ball. They scored touchdowns. Only a field goal or two field goals, missed one. Perfect extra points. They didn't get their quarterback sacked. They didn't have a lot of penalties, only 6, not bad. That's not bad for today's NFL. They did everything perfectly on offense. There's nothing that we could have done to slow him down, to stop him. And I didn't think the scheme was that bad. A couple of times Allen is going to get out of the pocket and he's going to make plays. Tony Romo kept repeating himself. You can't let Josh Allen get outside the pocket. Well, no shit. You know what I mean? I think they tried to keep him inside as much as they can. A couple times he got out and he starts playing street ball. And he is probably the best or one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL that plays street ball. He really is. He's just, that's what his thing is. He's a gunslinger. He's a more controlled gunslinger this year, though. And he's just doing everything that you want in a quarterback. And he was just making plays at will. So I can't say anything bad about that offense. Our defense, they did the best they could. We have a makeshift defense. It's a terrible defense right now. And I think a lot, and it's because of injuries. And we have lost so many guys that the ship, it's not sinking, but it's got holes in it. The ship's got holes in it, and it's taking in water. It's really taking in water. I'm not going to get too much into it, man. I want to so bad, but I'm not. But it's a problem. This defense is a problem. Now, we couldn't do anything. We couldn't get to them. We couldn't get any fumbles. We couldn't get any interceptions. We couldn't do anything. It's a makeshift defense, and we'll leave it at that. We'll talk about that in the next video on what they're going to do next, because I don't really know. I am really super concerned. But offensively, we're a phenomenal team. Now let's talk about our offense. Obviously, we lost David Montgomery for the year, which is massive. We'll talk about that too tomorrow or whatever. But Goff was phenomenal. Started off slow, then he just started hitting everything. Amon-Ra had a massive day. J-Mo had a good day. Laporta had a big day. Gibbs had a big day through the air. We just did a lot of good things through the air. Tim Patrick contributing. I can't say anything wrong about our offense. We did everything. Our offensive line is good. It looks like they're kind of like right now though they're protecting Goff as best as they can. But they look old. They do look old. They're starting to look a little bit older. You kind of saw it in that game. Ragnow on his back a lot. Glasgow going in the tent. Taylor Decker banged up all the time. It just, you know what I mean? Sewell's the only one and he's just a kid, right? But they're, it looks like the run game has taken a step back the last 2-3 weeks. In that game, you kind of seen it as well too. But other than that, the offense is fantastic. Just as long as they keep most of that O-line intact, we can't lose any guys on the O-line. We've already lost a ton of guys on defense. We'd start losing guys on the offense. David Montgomery is obviously gone, but we start losing more guys, we're in a whole mess of trouble. Just a whole mess of trouble. And then, just one of those games, guys, 42-48. There's not really much to talk about with this football game. Even the Bills got issues. The Bills got issues on defense. They really do. They're going to be a team that's going to need to score 35, 40 plus to start winning ball games. They've scored 30 plus points 8 games in a row, and I don't think that's ever been done. I think they're in company with teams like the Kurt Warner Rams, A lot of teams up there. There's a few teams up there that have scored 30 plus, and the Bills aren't one of them. They're a juggernaut offense. You know, they were number 2 going into this football game. They could be number. I think we still stay at number 1 though, because Goff had a massive day. So I'm sure it would be close because they had a lot of yards rushing as well. But just one of those games, guys. I'm not even upset about the loss going to 12-2, because I felt that there was a good chance that we could have lost this football game because of personnel. Because Josh Allen is so good, all that stuff. I knew we'd score points, and I knew they'd score points. But losing guys like McNeil and Carlton Davis, Khalil Dorsey, you know, then losing your top tier running back, you know, even though I think Gibbs is having a better year, obviously he is, but losing those guys takes a massive blow to the team and to the defense. Even losing a running back like that takes a massive blow to the defense, because now you're like, man, that's a running back. We need to fight for him. You know, he's the one that keeps us fresh on the sidelines. David Montgomery with those big first down runs and all that stuff. Now that's not there. Now that's not going to be there. So one of those games, guys, it's, you know, I'm not packing it in. You can't at 12-2. We are a playoff football team. The North and the 1 seed. I'm starting to really get nervous about that. I'm starting to think that we're probably not going to win at least the 1 seed. We're probably not going to win the 1 seed. I think we still have a shot at the North. Minnesota's right hot on our trail. I can't see the Packers catching us. You know, could they? I don't think they could, because Minnesota has to play Green Bay. So Minnesota's the team to look out for in the North anyways. Even them, could they make a push for the 1 seed? Philadelphia looks really strong though. It's like a dysfunctional family over there, but they just win football games. That's all they do. So I'm not pressing the panic button, guys. I'm not pressing the panic button, but my hand's hovering. Like when I heard the news, man, about, here I go again, back to what I don't want to talk about. When I heard the news about, you know, obviously Aleem McNeil, when you saw him get hurt yesterday, you knew something was wrong the way he was walking off the field. So animated, so angry, he looked so upset. You knew something was wrong there. Then you saw Dorsey break his leg, I don't know, in order. And Carlton Davis walking off. You didn't know what was going on with him. I didn't even know what his injury was at the time. I couldn't tell it was his jaw. I couldn't even tell. I thought it was like an upper shoulder or something. I didn't really know. You heard about those guys, like later on after the game, you're like, oh my God, it can't get any worse. And then the following day, David Montgomery, knee surgery done for the year. It was like, that was like almost the final bullet. I was like, oh my, like, can it get any worse? Because this is such a good football team. But we're not going to get into it, man. I'm talking way too much. Up next, guys, we're playing the Bears in Chicago. I believe it's a 1 o'clock start. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm guessing it's a 1 o'clock start at Chicago, at Bears, 1 p.m. Let's just say 1 p.m. I think it's a 1 p.m. start. That's our next game. That's week 16. The season's almost done. We're still trying to get the North. We're still trying to get that 1 seed. There's still a shot. I have bad feelings about it now. Just because of the injuries, not because of the team. The team's fantastic. We're a great football team. But just the way, the personnel, it really, really bugs me. And it should. Because we literally got practice squads and guys off the street and second, third, fourth string guys that are coming in to start. We have lost so much. So thanks, guys. Thanks for the video. Lions lose this football game in a shootout. 42-48, Buffalo Bills. 2 really good football teams going at it, man. It could be a Super Bowl preview. You never know. We're going to need some help, though. We're going to need some help. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. Don't forget the notification bell up top. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Big loss. Lots of points scored. About 90 points scored. Over 1,000 yards total. A bunch of touchdowns. Insane game, guys. Lions still in first place, though. Grit, Detroit versus everybody. Let's go. Boom.